how big. And almost 2,000 over there on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube,
Jivanik donated $200. Ask her how she feels about violence against women acts. Federal laws in the US that increase penalties for violence against women but not men.
Your thoughts?
Are you going to be mad if I make a generalization?
Nope.
Men are more violent than women.
It's not a generalization, that's a data point.
Yeah, that's factual.
One which I dispute, by the way.
Like the IPV rates? Yeah, the one-directional IPV rates, yeah. Well, actually, really quick on that, I know it's kind of getting a little bit off topic. So when it comes to romantic relationships, what about this data point? So if we're looking at homosexual relationships, for example, so you have heterosexual relationships, gay men and lesbian women. They've actually found that, okay, hold on.
It's okay. We can keep going.
Okay, we're fine.
You're good.
Sorry, guys, there's a little slip going. So gay men have the lowest incidence rate of domestic violence, and then next up, in terms of couplings, you have heterosexual relationships, and then the highest incidence rate of domestic violence is actually in lesbian relationships. So what are your takes on that? Like, how do you reconcile that?
That's
if
in
men are more
relationships.
violent, if men are more
That's
violent,
in relationships. That's not a whole.
but removing men from the picture entirely when there's two women in a relationship together and two men in a relationship together, the rates among gay men having domestic violence in those relationships is the lowest compared to both heterosexual relationships and lesbian relationships, and it's the highest in lesbian relationships even compared to heterosexual and gay male relationships.
I would almost argue that like it's unreported among gay males.
Wouldn't it also
and that's
be
like
unreported?
an incorrect data point. Like
For lesbian women?
I just think it's no, because I think that like women would be more likely to report something like that, and I think that
Inside of your list of fallacies, did you write down the argument from incredulity?
No.
You did not write down the argument.
No,
from
Purdue didn't
incredulity.
have that one.
Yeah, it's not really an argument to say, well, I can't demonstrate this, but I just think that X is probably
Sure.
true.
Okay, that's fair. But I also don't think that equating what's happening in a relationship is the same as like what like men being like more violent overall.
But this was in context of this domestic violence.
Is that what like the law is about? The violence against women?
Violence against women, yeah.
So that's a domestic. That's a law.
I believe it's about domestic
But don't you guys like
violence.
stand on the point that men are stronger than women?
Yeah.
So like,
has nothing to do
wouldn't
with
that
violence,
be a
though.
thing?
It wouldn't
like,
mean that they're more
Isn't
violent.
that? Don't you want to protect like women
It
against
doesn't
the
make you more
strong men?
violent just because you're stronger.
I would think that isn't.
For
like-
instance, there's going to be women who are stronger than other women, right?
Sure.
Would you then infer that that would mean that women who are stronger than other women would just be more violent because they're stronger?
No, but I think that I think that testosterone makes men more violent.
Okay, but there's going to be higher rates of testosterone in stronger women than less strong women.
Okay.
So, I mean,
so
this
then, yeah, if
inference-
they would have more testosterone, then they would be more violent. Yeah.
You think that testosterone is only going... So your inference is that testosterone equals violence?
I think that it can. Yeah, I think that
So
there's.
Okay. So can estrogen. Estrogen can cause...
Estrogen's a bitch. Yeah, she's not
Nick,
great.
really quick. Okay, guys, really quick before we get back into it, have you had some time to think about what rights?
No.
So what rights do women have that men don't? I'll give you a bit more time to think about it.
A few moments later.
All right, Matthew Schreck, plain and simple, are we equal or not? Should all people, men, women, trans, etc., be held up to same standards and responsibilities? Thank you, Matthew Schreck. Are we equal or are we not?
I will concede on the fact that I can't give you more evidence, but I don't believe that we are equal right now. So I apologize that I did not come more prepared.
Well, you don't need to articulate every single way in which you believe women are unequal. I would like to hear maybe one or two, though. I don't know if that's too much of an ask.
I don't think that we are, just in like societal ways.
But hold on. I'm I don't know if this is considered
Well, that's the thing is like
shifting the goalposts or
okay.
Mon Bailey?
So what do you
Bailey?
want?
Because your original claim was not societally, it was rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
then
you said
I
women
said,
aren't constitutionally equal to men.
Yeah.
And I think that's even different. I think that's a higher
So the
threshold.
19th
Wait,
Amendment applies
hold
to
on. Let me just
voting.
finish. Let me just
Yeah.
finish. I think aren't constitutionally equal to men is actually going to be a higher threshold for you to prove than just rights. But so I'm even
Okay.
willing to go
Yeah.
down to just speaking about rights. So what rights do men have that
well,
women?
maybe we could talk about like constitutionally then, because like I told you, I don't have the rights. I'm not more prepared, and I'm very sorry about that. Actually, I shouldn't be sorry. I'm just not more prepared.
But it's your claim.
Okay. So I mean, that's what I'm saying is like I don't have that
But
information. I didn't.
that's a really massive claim to make.
Okay.
That men have more rights.
I did not say that. I said women are not constitutionally equal to men. I
Okay.
believe that because the ERA is passed. You disagree with that point.
But I've tried to articulate that.
Well, I think that's
like,
fair. What
yeah,
about the
that's
ERA? What about the ERA will make women equal to men?
It passing.
Yeah, but what?
She just
What
it- it's-
define it?
Wait,
Define
what,
it
can I ask you a
for
question?
us.
Wait, can I ask you a
Yeah.
question? If there was nothing in the bill, and the title of the bill was purely Equal Rights Amendment, and there's just nothing in
And
the
women
actual
are
bill.
equal to men in the Constitution, and that's all it said? Yeah, great, pass it. That's what I'm saying.
But you're still not saying what you feel like you're.
And why it didn't pass. Like, why
Because
is
it was political, and the name does not mean that that is what is inside of it. That's what this person was trying to bring up in the super
Okay.
chat about the Violence Against Women Act actually not protecting women. It's just a name. If you're involved in politics, if you follow this for a long time, you know that they pass these bills and they put these bills up solely that so Democrats can look at you, if you're a Republican, and say, Republicans don't believe in equal rights for women. And then people
Okay.
believe it.
Okay.
So don't believe it.
If the issue is societal too, what is like just passing a bill going to do? If it's like a societal norm issue,
I think
maybe.
I think it starts at those, like at those base levels.
Yeah, but how does that change your day-to-day
view.
life? And be
Wait, I actually have a question on this. If the ERA was passed, what tangible changes would occur?
I think, isn't it true that like if the ERA passed, Roe versus Wade would have been protected more
What
so?
does that have to do with rights between men and women?
Isn't that
Men-
a right to bodily autonomy?
Yeah, men have no reproductive rights, so you can't make this comparison. Men don't have a right to an abortion, or they don't have a right to prevent women from getting an
I
abortion.
don't know. My dad had to sign off on my mom getting her tubes tied.
This is a
That's a
feminist trope I
right.
hear about. I don't know
It's
if there's
not a
any
trope, it
validity.
actually
I don't know if there's
happens.
actually any validity to doctors requiring a spouse to consent to these things. Perhaps in years past, I have no idea if this is still
It's
a common
crazy,
practice.
too.
It
when
is
men,
more considerably harder to get your tubes tied than for a man to get a
Well,
vasectomy, though.
hold on.
No, my
That's
dad had
hold
to
on. That has
sign a
nothing-
paper.
Hold on. Wait, that has nothing to do with the consent of the spouse. Getting your tubes tied is a far more invasive procedure than a vasectomy. To start there.
They
And by the way-
they do often ask about spouse. They do often ask children, and they do play that.
I've
into a
heard stories
factor,
from
but-
men all over the country that when they went in to get a vasectomy, that the doctor demanded that they come in and do counseling first with their wife before they made the decision to have the vasectomy.
I don't think that's correct.
Well, right. So this is the thing. I don't think that it's correct to say that your dad had to sign off on the tube tying either.
I'm saying that it happened, but it shouldn't have. It should
Yeah,
not
I'm not
be a
sure
thing.
that it did happen. If we're just using
Okay, well,
incredelity,
if you're just
then we're
going to
just
call
gonna
me
use
a liar, then I
incredelity.
can just go around the table and call y'all liars all night.
Okay,
Well,
so
but that's why we don't use an argument from incredelity. If you say to me, I don't think.
What
that-
about an argument
I
from
don't-
experience?
I don't think that happens. If you say to me, I don't think that happens.
What
then
if it
stop,
actually
I'm
happened to
explaining.
me?
If it actually happens to you, that's different. But it didn't actually happen to you. It happened to someone else. But for you to say, I just simply don't think that that's true. If that you can assert that, then I just assert it about everything you say. Yeah, but I just don't think that that's true. Yeah, but I just don't think that that's true. All right? That's why you don't make assertions or claims unless you can either logically demonstrate them, empirically demonstrate them, or in some way demonstrate them.
So the evidence? Would you like me to like get the paperwork or
Okay,
something?
That would be evidence.
Okay.
I have to move it off of the
Right.
tube tying thing.
That's what I'm-
But back to
right.
this. So back to this. So if the ERA was passed, what would be the sort of tangible results when it came to the equality that women could expect to receive that they don't currently have, that you can't articulate?
I think that I said that Roe versus Wade would have been more protected.
That's not true.
Well, then I like I said,
This is why I asked
told
if
you
you
I
read
don't
the
know.
bill.
Chrissy, do you know if in the ERA there's anything in there that has anything to do with abortion rights?
I think that
Yes.
she's referencing like making abortion legal at a federal level, but
Yes,
okay,
that's
but Roe
exactly,
versus Wade,
yeah.
that's not what
okay,
Roe versus
yes,
Wade is.
That's
This
what
is-
it is then. Yes,
Yeah.
abortion would be legal at a federal level. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So aside from abortion, which it's not clear to me if that has really anything to do with a comparative analysis of rights between men and women, can you give me anything else that would tangibly change if the ERA was passed for women?
No.
Okay. So then, is that a checkmate?
That's it, yeah. There's
Yeah.
nowhere to go with
All right, Navy Darkstar, thank you for the gifted 10 subs. Yeah, I'm still a little confused, I guess. But
This is called an AFF.
you know what?
It's my own coined fallacy. It's called an argument from feelings.
You know what? I can actually think of one
Isn't
way.
it a bleeding heart liberal?
Well, I mean, look, I've debated with a lot of liberals and a lot of progressives. And there's a lot of smart liberals. There's a lot of smart progressives who don't make arguments from their feelings.
Okay.
And they're brutal to have drag-out debates with. They're super smart. They're really well-informed. That is not what this was.
Okay.
I can actually think of one right that men have that women don't, although this is geographically specific because in some jurisdictions it actually is allowed. But men can go out into public shirtless, and in some areas women can't.
Okay.
Aside from that, and again, it's jurisdiction specific. In some municipalities and cities, women can go shirtless. Can't really think of really any right that men have that women don't.
Okay.
But no, that would even be a wrong example because that wouldn't be a right. That would just go to the federal government not saying whether or not people can walk around nude or not, leaving it up in the 10th Amendment to the states. So the states allow their municipalities to govern themselves. Some municipalities say that women can do this, some don't. Still wouldn't have anything to do with the right.
Well, in some municipalities, women wouldn't have the right.
That's not a right, though. That's just that's ordinance, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, it's left up to the states, but there's no rights which are being actually violated.
But I mean, if it's pushed back to municipalities in the states, and overwhelmingly most municipalities and jurisdictions preclude women from going topless, wouldn't it, I mean, effectively, in practice?
No, it would be like a stop sign law. It would be like, it would just be a law like this. It would be, you got to wear shoes, or no shirt, no service, or something
Sure.
like that. It would be an ordinance. That would not be a right.
Well, in any
So
case,
in other words, there's no right defined that men can walk around with their shirt off. There's no right
Nothing-
defined that
yeah.
women cannot walk around with their shirt off. There's local ordinances which prevent this. These aren't inalienable rights.
Right, it's not
There's
in
no
the
inalienable
Constitution.
right to walk around nude, right?
yeah. And in further, just, I mean, are you familiar with the legal term de minimis? Mm-hmm. So it's such I would consider it a fairly minor, at least in the scale of what, when people typically have conversations about rights, this one would occur to me to be
Who
fairly
would care
minor.
anyway? You think that if they wanted to pass a constitutional amendment that women could walk around topless, that any fucking men would object? No. Nobody's going to object
Sign
to
me
it.
up.
They're not objecting
I'll
to
advocate
that.
for that shit.
And there's
Okay.
no women out there advocating for that. So it's like, even that would just be a really poor example, ultimately.
We have Brian Rookard. Women are already protected. The 14th Amendment already provides equal protection. Married Women's Property Acts were passed in 1839, and then thereafter, Equal Pay Act passed in 1963. Fair Housing Act prevents discrimination in housing on basis of sex.
So this is like...
Thank
when
you, Brian.
when
Good name.
When you're thinking about immutable characteristics, basically, the law at the constitutional level has been completely changed so that people with immutable characteristics are protected via those immutable characteristics. That would be sex, that's race, all of that. Right?
And gender now, because of Bostock.
Yeah, these are things that are unchanging. So, well, except maybe that one, but actually immutable, right? And you can't change them. The Constitution has compensated for all of those. So you're not allowed to, you can't say you can't vote because you're black, can't say you can't vote because you're white, can't say you can't vote because you're female, can't say you can't vote because you're male, can't tell you can't own a gun because you're black, can't tell you can't own a gun because you're white, can't tell you can't have freedom of speech because of these things. So all of these across the board, it's protected.
Yeah.
2 chats here coming in. We have Giovanni C. Based blonde blue shirt. Bonus points for not butchering your baby. God bless. All right. Thank you, Giovanni. Appreciate it.
Wait.
And then we do have SS Salwoth coming in. Thank you. Thank you, man, for the TTS, or no, not the TTS, the Streamlabs message. Howdy, longtime listener, first-time donator. Hey, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Why do all the trouble guests sit in that spot? Question for the panel. If Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? Are you able to scoot into the table just a little bit? Yeah.
So, what's the question?
Let me say this really quick. I have obviously bitten off more than I can chew.
That's a first.
No, you're good.
No.
Oh, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. You're a legend. You're a
Thank
legend.
you.
You came in guns blazing. You're doing great.
I tried. No, I really do appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Wait, we got to get through at least all your notes.
No.
Hold on. Just stay we'll get through your notes.
I
will fast track.
Can you
I
at
will
least leave
fast
the
track.
booze?
I'm leaving the booze. That's for you guys. No, I really
I
appreciate
feel like
you
that's a
having me
reasonable
on.
contribution.
Yeah, I appreciate
Wait,
you
let me
having
at least
on.
fast track.
No, I
Hold
gotta
on.
go.
You got to go
Can
because.
can this be a respectful quit? Like, thank you for everything.
Wait. You can't just
I'm
leave.
not I'm not crying. I'm tired. That's
You're
why.
tired?
Yeah, I've been up since like 3 in the morning.
Okay, but at least, look, you provided a lot of notes. Tell you what, I will.
I'm getting emotional.
Hold on,
Like,
I will fast
respectfully,
track.
This has been really great.
No,
I'm not
listen, but
crying.
at least hear the offer. You got to at least hear the offer.
Respectfully,
I will
thank you
fast
so
track.
much.
I will fast track your
It's not a
notes.
rage quit.
I will fast. You said it was a rage quit.
It's not.
I think it was a rage quit.
Thank you so much.
I think it was a
for
rage
having
quit.
me
I
here.
think you can't defend your worldview. You can't defend your worldview. I think you're a coward, to be honest. I think it's cowardly for you to quit because you've been absolutely demolished by Andrew.
But leave the booze.
You did a great job, Andrew. Thank you.
Have a nice day.